Cowboys Nation of YouTubers? Is that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you on another Taco Tuesday thoughts, opinions, maybe overreactions? Let's see. One overreaction could be Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott. Well, currently stands, the man is undefeated. He's, 3-0 now in all his starts? To put the hot hand back on the shelf for Dak Prescott, who's coming off a thumb injury, maybe not the best idea, but I get what people are saying. He's our starter. Regardless of how much he makes, he's the guy that they want to put as the face of the franchise. That's fine. But game one, he didn't look that good. So having no playing time since then, how do you figure he's going to get any better with just a week's worth of practice? That's what I'm concerned about, is that he took no preseason snaps. He looked bad in the first game, got hurt, hasn't practiced since, and then as soon as he's ready, team wants to trot him back out there like he's a superstar. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going with the hot hand in Cooper Rush. If he's winning me games, I'm not going back to a quarterback that I can't really trust to win me games. That's just how I feel. I like that. But let's be honest, the man has not looked good. And do you really want to risk losing games for him to get back into the swing of things? Running back situation. I saw an article today. Somebody's clamoring for Tony Pollard to be the starter. I don't care who's the starter. You can have Zeke or Pollard start. Use the term starter. It doesn't really matter because they can both get on the field at the same time. It doesn't really matter. There's just certain things Zeke can do that Tony Pollard cannot do. And there's certain things Pollard can do that Zeke can't do anymore. So it doesn't really matter who's getting named starter as long as both of those guys are getting carried. Excuse me. And putting their skills on display like they did last night and getting these runs for yardage and scoring touchdowns. I don't care who's starting as long as it's not detrimental to the team and doing what we're doing. I'm cool with it. Wide receivers. Noah Brown is our number one. Let's go ahead and say it until Dak comes back and, tries to force feed CD. Noah Brown is the guy that's out here making plays. CD had a chance to make a play and make a name for himself, and he dropped it right in his breadbasket. He dropped the ball. That's concentration that wasn't there. And rightfully so, people shit on him for pretty much the whole game until he made it up in the fourth quarter. But having to make a spectacular play after you made a boneheaded play is not the way you want to be known as a number one receiver. So I'm not sure how we can get into CD's head to prevent him from these dropsies at critical times. Especially when you're wide open like that. Makes no sense. Houston didn't play. Talbert got in, and he actually made a catch for a first down. Let's see. Tight ends showed up, balled out. Let's see. Yeah, you can't get no better than that with your receiving core. Aside from the major drop, they did the best they could with what they had. The DBs were out there mugging them in the end zone and not getting calls from referees. So they pretty much had to do what they had to do, and they did enough to win. So congratulations on that. Offensive line, with Tyler Smith staying at left tackle and Jason Peters coming in at left guard, it seemed to give the team extra oomph that they didn't have before. And you could see the difference. with Zeke's big 40-something yard run. You had Jason Peters in there knocking people down. Of course, due to him being his age and not having much practice time, he's kind of gassed early. So they had him in for a couple of spots, and then he was gone. But by then, you saw what you needed to see. It was a great addition, and it worked out for us for the offensive line. They had a couple penalties here and there, but still, they're trying to be better. You can see it, but some things are still just getting away from them. But it's to be expected, especially as a Cowboy, because they're watching everything we do as referees and not calling anything on our opponents, as they do the exact same thing on their side but not getting penalized. But it's whatever. We can't keep blaming the refs. We just got to play through them. Defense showed up like they always do. Trayvon Diggs got the game-clinching interception at the end. Micah was pretty much getting held double and triple teamed all game, so that allowed DeMarcus Lawrence to eat, and he did. 3 sacks and quite a few pressures. So you can't beat that everybody else is getting into the sack game, where the Cowboys are now 13 sacks and number 1 in that category. So you have, oh Lord, the pressure's coming, the sacks are coming. Micah doesn't have to do everything, and hopefully DeMarcus Lawrence is okay, because he hurt his ankle, I do believe, and they just taped it up and sent him back out there. So we'll have to monitor that throughout the week, because if he's not there and Micah's probably going to be in and out of the lineup, we're going to have to need the pressures coming from elsewhere. The corners, they tried to pick on Trayvon Diggs a lot, and it didn't work. So they tried to take it to the other side. Jordan Lewis played up, and Anthony Brown did his part. They got a couple catches here and there. Some guys were out of position because they went no huddle early and often, and it just had our players out of sorts. You had linebackers and safeties lining up on receivers and losing them in pass coverage. But once they had the time to slow things down and get on the same page, the defense stood their ground. We had a blocked punt, blocked field goal on special teams. We had a great return on a punt from Turpin that set us up for a great field position, even though we didn't capitalize on it the way I wish we would. But all in all, the players did their best. If we can just, again, cut down on the penalties, it'll be fine. But at least we didn't have as many big plays called back as we normally would have. Coaching. This week's coaching was a hell of a lot different. You didn't see no trick plays or anything crazy. Other men did what they were supposed to do. Kellen Moore actually called a better game. To be honest, that might have saved him and McCarthy, calling better game plans. My only thing is, when Dak's in there, you don't call the same game plans. It's weird. It's either that or Dak just makes different decisions than Cooper Rush. Watching film, you probably do see a big difference in the same play calling. So that's just a thing that's going to have to happen between Dak and Cooper when they play, is you're going to get different decision making between those two quarterbacks as far as who they want to pass to, check downs, and how they're going to run the same plays. Defensive coaches, special team coaches, I didn't see any problems with it. All in all, good game all around. It was touch and go there, but to be honest, for the first time, I did not have the hyperventilation in a game like I usually would. I guess for some reason, I honestly thought we were going to win. That's why I had no panic. It's weird. So it's not normal for me to not hyperventilate when we play, because we actually came back to win, and I wasn't scared at all that we were going to. That's a new one. And also, before I leave, I see that Sterling Shepard tore his ACL on that on the last two plays or something like that. He tore his ACL in a non-contact. A lot of players have went online and protested the turf and want to go back to natural grass. Excuse me. And I'll give props to Daniel Jones. He took the game into his hands. He ran when he had to. He threw when he had to. He made good decisions. He was completing his passes. He's looked a lot better than what he's usually looked like. I don't know if it was because it's prime time, it's the Cowboys, or it's finally his time to shine. So we'll have to see. So from around the NFC East, aside from Carson Wentz, the quarterbacks look like they actually want to play and have a purpose compared to years past when it just looked bad. So props to the Giants quarterback. Props to the Giants for trying to play big. And sorry for Shepard to go out like that. And after the game, they didn't need to have that scrum. They really didn't. I don't know what caused it or what was going on there, but, you know, nothing big came out of it, thankfully. No suspensions, no fists flying or anything. So it was broken up and all is well. But anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about on Taco Tuesday's Thoughts. Until next time, this is VA Dallas Cowboy fan, out.